Pleasant good afternoon all, and thank you again for joining us for another briefing. Those of you who may be listening via radio, watching via television, or who have logged on via social media or virtually. Before I begin, just before I came up to the podium, I was checking our emergency management chat, and our colleagues from St. Lucia would have actually notified us in the chat about the present development in St. Lucia, and I wish to read for you. It says, on Wednesday, October 7, 2020, St. Lucia recorded a new case of COVID-19. The individual is a 29-year-old female national who arrived in St. Lucia on Sunday, September 27, 2020, from the United States. She was placed in a government quarantine on arrival. As per national protocol, she was retested on the 7th day in a government quarantine facility, and upon receipt of her test results was transferred to the respiratory hospital for care. It says that the communique further states that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has commenced the contact tracing and testing, which will be done on all persons who may have been in contact with this case. I said that to say to you the importance of quarantine, the importance of having a level of confinement or restriction of movement from persons who may be coming from potentially high-risk areas or countries. Hence the reason we keep every week appealing to the citizens, residents, and our visitors who are within our borders to continue to comply with the regulations. It's very important now more than ever as we count down to the reopening of our borders. My presentation today is going to be rather short. Again, we have 23 days, 6 hours, 50 minutes, and 16 seconds before we reach the 31st of October and the reopening of the borders, both air and sea. What has been the main objective of the National COVID-19 Task Force? It's simple: to reopen in a prudent way, taking every necessary precaution to protect the health and safety of our citizens, residents, and our visitors. And how can we do that? It's going to require the corridor of containment, which we spoke about earlier. How will that work? Simple. We're going to have the arrival of inbound passengers into our ports of entry. As they arrive into our ports of entry, they will be processed, and the process was already explained, whereby they will be screened. From screening, they will then move on to our border management agencies such as immigration and customs. Now, from there, it doesn't finish. It's one small element of the whole process. So as you come in, you are processed at our ports of entry, then you exit these ports, and then you have to go into the transportation aspect of it. And this transportation aspect is going to be very strict, whereby you will only be able to move on certified, again, on COVID certified transportation. COVID certified transportation for inbound international travelers. And that is very critical for you to note. Persons entering from the bubble would be allowed to move freely. So they can go into the rentals, or if the family can come and pick you up wherever the points of pickup may be, as the restructuring process is being done at the RLB International Airport. that will be possible. But inbound international travelers can only move in the COVID-19 certified transportation. So the next point I want to talk in the corridor of containment is the place of where you're going to vacation in place or the place of quarantine. It's very critical. It's very critical, and the options were already given to you by the CMO. And I just read to you an excerpt from the release or communique from the Ministry of Health and Wellness in St. Lucia. That is the importance. And at these facilities, at these government identified facilities that will be approved, there's high expectations that individuals who will be working there, the proprietors, must exercise the highest level of responsibility in ensuring that the protocols, the procedures, and the processes do not jeopardize, again, do not jeopardize their staff, do not jeopardize the visitors or the persons who are going to be occupying these properties. So these are the three critical things in terms of the corridor of containment for the period that is prescribed by the Chief Medical Officer and by extension the Ministry of Health. Now, it's going to require the all of society approach. And when we speak about all of society approach, we're talking about all of the government, all of the private sector, and most importantly, all of our citizens, residents, visitors, everybody who occupy our landmass here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I wish to appeal to you again to do our best to avoid a second lockdown. It's much harder than the first lockdown. We don't want to go through those long lines at supermarkets. We don't want to go through the many restrictions because it's going to impact our mental, social, and also our economic status. It's critical that we do our best right now to ensure that we follow all the protocols that have been laid out by the regulations, and we have persons being compliant. Dr. Law said it clearly. We have dropped. You have seen persons lapsing in wearing the mask. And I want to appeal to the business places, because one of the things that I am seeing basically from the reports coming in is that one business place is doing everything to achieve compliance, but then another business or a competitor of the business is not doing what they're supposed to do, but they're still conducting business. So therefore, what are the customers doing? The customers are saying, well, you're being too stringent, and because of this, I am going somewhere else to shop or somewhere else to carry my business. So I am appealing to all the business places to standardize the means of operation as it regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, so that we could have the standardized approach across the board for everyone. It's important, hand hygiene, the marking, physical, social distancing, the wearing of the mask. No mask, no entry. Simple, it means that no mask, no entry. You don't have a mask, you come up to the counter, your products will not be cashed. So we need the standardized approach across the board from the businesses. This is not time for competitiveness between one another and jeopardizing the life of every citizen. It's about compliance. The compliance teams are going out on a daily basis, visiting these business places. However, the challenge is a lot of the business places are not being compliant, not even as simple as putting out markings outside to ensure there is a level of distancing, ensuring that the staff inside these businesses are wearing masks, ensuring that there are proper hygiene protocols being practiced on the inside, cleaning, sanitization programs, schedules. How often are we cleaning, are we wiping our counters where we have number of persons accessing our services? is very critical. We need to get this down packed before our borders open. Let us not be a reactive society, but rather a proactive society. I want to share with you calendar of events for the St. Kitts Mental Health Association, who are celebrating a week of activities that would have started on the 4th of October and will culminate on the 9th. And there is a great appeal to you to support them by wearing green, as they will have a Wear Green Day on the 9th of October. So on the 9th of October, I will be wearing my green shirt or polo shirt or whichever green I have to support the mental health. Mental health would have done a wonderful job during the lockdown period, providing support to individuals that would have gone in quarantine, to individuals who would have been infected by the virus, and as such, also in the recovery process, as we were coming out of these lockdowns, they provided many support, and we would have seen many presentations being done here at the COVID-19 briefings. So again, I am asking the citizens, residents, and visitors to support the calendar of events for the St. Kitts Mental Health Association, a critical partner to all of us in the Federation. And importantly so, I also seek support for the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, which is a week of activities that is being put on by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMO, in collaboration with the Nevis Disaster Management Department. On the 11th of October, we will start with a church service, and on the 12th, we will have a launch of the NEMO staff video, where our staff will interact with you and explain the roles and functions. We will also have the launch of instructional videos giving you safety tips. And also we will have a radio trivia where you call into the radio station, and if you give the right answer, you will receive a gift. But most importantly, on the 12th, we will have what you call the Face of the Districts, where you will get to know who are the district managers, assistant managers, and the district volunteers within the various districts in St. Kitts and Nevis. On the 13th of October, which is the actual day, will be acknowledged internationally by all members of the UN, we will have an address by the co-chair of the Mitigation Council, the Honorable Wendy Colleen Phipps, and also we will continue with the Face of the Districts, and we will have a virtual open house. And the virtual open house, you will be able to log on Facebook and actually see what goes on at NEMO on a day-to-day, and we will have some various workstations from stakeholders where you will be able to see what they demonstrate. On the 14th of October, we will have another radio trivia. We will continue with the Face of the Districts, and we will continue with the instructional video. And the 15th of October, we will have the community outreach. We will continue with the Face of the District. We will have in the night a very important event, which will be Family Feud. And I am inviting persons to log on, support, cheer for the district personnel who will be representing at this Family Feud. And an instructional video would also be launched on that day. We will culminate on the 16th with our staff development, and we will continue with the Face of the Youth Ambassadors. Those are the volunteer arm of youths that are tasked with carrying out the message of comprehensive disaster management to our young citizens and residents. And the radio trivia will continue. The theme for this year is all about governance. Well, sorry, that's the hash mark. It's all about governance. And I must say that during the pandemic, one of the critical success factors that has helped us to gain successes is good governance. Good governance. and we can see around the world what bad governance during this time can do to a country. Correct, sorry? Next, please. We continue with the weather. Again, I am appealing to persons to continue to be prepared. We have been experiencing the passage of a number of tropical waves. Again, tropical waves with rain, thunderstorms, and lightning, which are conditions associated with these weather patterns. Weather is dynamic. So one time the forecast may say you may get 3 inches, you may end up with none. It doesn't mean that it was a bad thing. Okay? You need to actually stay alert and listen to the weather updates from the local authorities. They are centralized to St. Kitts and Nevis. That's very important. However, for now, the hurricane basin seems empty, and we want to continue to monitor until the end of November. When November 30th comes, then we can say, to God be the glory. Amen? So thank you for listening, and I do hope that we have reached you, and as we near to the opening of the borders, I am appealing to citizens to do their best. Again, do your best to support the efforts. You see, St. Lucia got that case. It doesn't mean St. Lucia got into a lockdown. What they had is a corridor of containment, and now they're going to manage and allow society to continue to move. That is critical. And St. Kitts and Nevis will be no less. And we as public servants, technicians, are going to do our best to assure you that we will not jeopardize or put into disrepute your safety and security. Thank you.